What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks. Today I'm going to be bringing you some more Fusion Cup practice battles. And the main focus of this video today, I've been getting a lot of comments asking me to kind of go over how I construct a team. And while I already feel there are some amazing videos already on YouTube from like King and Hero Vange, and a lot of the other great PvP content creators, some of you are still interested in what I have to say, so I'm going to humbly voice my thought process for constructing teams here. And we're going to be using the Fusion Cup as an example here. So one thing that everyone should be aware of before you even start PvP is what an amazing resource pvpoke.com is. That's like pvpoke.com, pvpoke. Definitely need to check out that website for sure. It's the best online resource for all your PvP needs. You can sort, they have a big tier list, a big ranking list that you can sort by the cup. And this is really gonna help you get a feel for what Pokemon are going to be the strongest within each certain meta. That's definitely step number one, is understanding the meta, understanding what Pokemon are going to be strong. And I feel like that's where PvPoke's ranking list is really going to help you with that for sure. So within this Fusion Cup, Altaria is a beast. It is very high up there on the rankings. And so this is one of the Pokemon that you should definitely include in your team. I believe it has the highest win-loss ratio within this Fusion Cup. It's insane. It's incredibly bulky. Dragon Breath, its fast move, is ridiculously overpowered. And it's just a great Pokemon. So I started out with my team construction with Altaria. Then you kind of need to think about what are going to be the hardest counters to Altaria, because this Pokemon is definitely one of the meta-defining Pokemon. So Altaria is a dragon and flying type, meaning that it's going to be double weak to ice. So lots of people are thinking about running some ice types to really counter Altaria. I think one of the most common ones is Alolan Sandslash. Alolan Sandslash is ice and steel, so you're going to have a nice resistance to the Dragon Breath damage as well as the flying type damage that Altaria is going to throw at you. And you can rip off ice punches very quickly, very strong ice punches, because you get stabbed with it. And that's really going to keep Altaria in check. Another great option for anti-Altaria is Probopass. Definitely going to heavily resist everything that Altaria is going to throw at you. That's kind of like the two big ones, as well as Bronzong. Bronzong with its steel typing, you're going to resist the Dragon Breath, you're going to resist the Sky Attack, but it is not as solid of a wall to Altaria. Along with Altaria are some other flyers as well. The most common one that has been popping up in the Fusion Cup is Noctowl, and some people have actually been running double flyers, so Altaria and Noctowl in their team of 6. So Probopass is an excellent anti-flyer. You can see within my team of 6 here, I actually chose to go with Bronzong as my anti-flyer. Now, with Bronzong, you still beat Altaria in the 1 shield matchup, but you lose in the 0 and 2 shields. It is a fairly close fight for sure, but I'm choosing Bronzong currently on my team of 6 as my anti-flyer because I love how it stacks up against Noctowl. It's a solid wall to Noctowl. And I know that with Bronzong, I'm going to be able to beat Probopass. I'm going to be able to feel comfortable going against Alolan Sandslash. So Bronzong is kind of one of the top picks in its class of anti-flyer because it can beat a lot of the other anti-flyer. So that's my reasoning with that, as well as the confusion and Psyshock damage is very nice as well. So you got Altaria, one of the strongest Pokemon. You got your anti-flyer, which, you know, again, could be Probopass, Alolan Sandslash. One thing I also forgot to mention is because of the prevalence of Altaria, the Charm users are popping up in popularity as well. So Alolan Ninetales with Charm is really going to be an excellent counter. Wigglytuff, as you can see on screen, is another decent answer to Altaria for sure. But right now I'm going with Altaria and Bronzong. So from there, you're going to need to think about what is going to beat the anti-flyers. Whiscash is an amazing pick for this. Mud Bomb is going to be hitting super effective on Bronzong, double super effective on Probopass, super effective on Alolan Sandslash. So a lot of these anti-flyers just get absolutely shredded by Whiscash, and it's an unbelievably favorable matchup for you. So Whiscash, out of all the Mud Boys, is definitely the top pick. So I'd recommend that you try it out and see what you think of it. Quagsire is also a decent alternative with Stone Edge and Earthquake, or you can spice it up and maybe throw on Sludge Bomb instead of Earthquake, but I would definitely recommend Whiscash. It also has the Blizzard nuke potential, which allows you to beat Altaria, because that Blizzard's going to be double super effective and can easily one-shot an Altaria. So I'm going with Whiscash here. From there, you can start being a little bit flexible with what you want to build your team with. So like the core 3 is going to be Altaria or a substitute flyer if you want to use a different flyer, an anti-flyer, which I've chosen Bronzong, and then a counter for the anti-flyers. So, and I've chosen Whiscash for that. Those are my solid 3 that are locked in. And then from there, I kind of start being flexible and building my team to what I know I'm going to be weak against. I included Shiftry as my grass type. I think grass types are definitely necessary in this cup because you want to have something that's going to threaten the Mud Boys like Whiscash or Swampert or Quagsire. Shiftry, with its recent buff getting Snarl as its fast move, can rip off Leaf Blades insanely fast, and is definitely one of the top picks as the grass type for now in the cup. One thing you do need to watch out for is it is grass dark, so you are going to be weak to the Charmers, and you're going to be weak to the fighting types as well, which we haven't discussed yet. But I chose Shiftry as my anti-Mud Boy. And another benefit that Shiftry gets is you're able to beat Bronzong because you resist the psychic attacks and those foul plays are hitting for super effective. So I chose Shiftry as my 4th pick there. Next, I chose Poliwrath, and Poliwrath definitely has been my MVP so far. You kind of look at the fighting types within this meta, and a lot of people are thinking that they're a liability, and I fully agree. But I'm not really using Poliwrath as a fighting type. I've been using Poliwrath as my flexible, like, safe switch option in a lot of matchups, or even as a lead Pokemon. There's a lot of matchups that I feel comfortable leaving it in. You're going to be weak to the Charmers, you're going to be weak to the Confusion users, and you're going to be weak to the flying types. However, because Altaria is double weak to Ice Punch, Poliwrath can easily beat Altaria. I know some people are looking at this matchup, Poliwrath versus Altaria. Are you crazy? That's a horrible matchup for Poliwrath. Nope, it's not. Now that Mudshot, the fast move, is not Legacy anymore, TM that Poliwrath to Mudshot for this cup for sure. You can easily outpace an Altaria and throw the Ice Punches. You are going to lose to Noctowl though. So that's another reason why I included Bronzong in my team, because I know that it's a solid wall to Noctowl. Even though those Ice Punches are still going to be hitting Noctowl for super effective, you're going to end up losing that match because of the wing attack and sky attack damage that Noctowl is going to throw at you. But Poliwrath, I feel comfortable leaving it in against Whiscash. If I use it as a switch-in, I can actually beat Bronzong if I have a slight energy advantage. You're going to beat Shiftry because you will not get one-shotted by a Leaf Blade, and you can easily one-shot a Shiftry with Dynamic Punch. But what you do have to watch out for are the flyers, other than Altaria, as well as the charm users. But like, let's say Wigglytuff, for example, is fairy and normal. So your Dynamic Punch is still going to be hitting for neutral damage. You are going to lose that matchup, but at least you're not going to be walled. You're still going to be able to either draw a shield or do some hefty damage. Another charm user, Alola Ninetales, again, fairy and ice. So your Dynamic Punch is going to be hitting for neutral again. So you're not going to be completely walled, still going to be able to either do a decent amount of damage or draw a shield, which is very great. So I feel like the fighting types are not necessary in this cup, but Poliwrath I'm really liking for my fighting type, even though I don't really consider it a fighting type within this cup because of how I'm using it. And then finally on my team of 6 to round it out, I brought in Alolan Marowak, and this is going to be another flexible option. You're going to be able to beat Bronzong. I'm running mine with Fire Spin, Bone Club, and Shadow Ball. You're going to be able to beat Bronzong. The Fire Spin is going to be hitting Shiftry for neutral, but Shiftry is going to be able to outpace you with its foul play, so you do need to watch out for that. But all the other grass types, I totally feel comfortable keeping Alolan Marowak in. You're going to absolutely shred Alolan Sandslash. You're going to shred Bronzong. You're going to shred Alolan Ninetales as well if it's running Charm, because you're going to resist that, and then your Fire Spin damage is going to be hitting super effective. As well as you're going to be able to beat the other fighters. So, for example, you're going to be able to beat Poliwrath, granted that their Poliwrath is not running Hydro Pump or Bubble as its fast move. So Alolan Marowak is another great flexible pick. It doesn't have as many positive matchups within this cup, but it does apply some nice bench pressure on your team of 6 to make them think twice about bringing in a fighting type or a grass type other than Shiftry for sure. And that Shadow Ball damage is really great. Even if you get stuck in a matchup that's not great, at least you have a heavy hitting neutral damage move. So this is the second set of battles here. Now that we've kind of talked about my specific team of 6, we can talk about reading other people's teams of 6 a little bit. So against this matchup here, Oister, his team, he's got Venusaur, Whiscash, Poliwrath, Altaria, Bronzong, and Alolan Sandslash. So just take a look at this team for a couple seconds and take a look at my team and kind of think about, I like to always start off when I'm reading people's teams with which Pokemon of mine has the most positive matchups against their team of 6. So if I'm looking at his team, I know Shiftry is going to do great against his Whiscash and his Bronzong. So that's only 2 I feel comfortable with. Bronzong is going to do great against his Venusaur and his Poliwrath, and his Altaria is pretty decent. So it's got 3 good matchups. My Whiscash is going to do decent against the Altaria. If I just go straight Blizzard, really good against Bronzong, and good against Alolan Sandslash. So there's 3 favorable matchups there. My Poliwrath, I feel comfortable leaving it against Whiscash, leaving it against Altaria, and leaving it against Alolan Sandslash. There's 3 positive matchups. My Altaria is going to beat his Venusaur. Again, it's kind of so-so with Whiscash. He's really rocking a lot of anti-flyers. You see how he's rocking Bronzong and Alolan Sandslash? So he does not want to go up against an Altaria at all. And my Alolan Marowak is going to be good against his Venusaur, good against his Poliwrath, good against his Bronzong, and good against his Alolan Sandslash. So that's 4 positive matchups. So I would definitely select Alolan Marowak as the main Pokemon that I'm going to construct my line of 3 around. So knowing that Alolan Marowak has the most positive matchups, I have to think about what is going to hard counter Alolan Marowak. Well, I know that Alolan Marowak is going to lose to Altaria, and I know that it's going to lose to Whiscash. So in order to supplement the Altaria matchup, I could bring in my own Altaria to mirror, or I could bring in Shiftry to handle the Whiscash matchup. So I might even construct a line of 3 with Alolan Marowak, Altaria, and then possibly Poliwrath for the flexibility. But for sure, probably keeping Alolan Marowak in my line of 3 there, and then figuring out what 2 other Pokemon can support it. Another thought process that you can use is select the Pokemon with the most positive matchups, for example, Alolan Marowak, then bring something that helps counter its hardest counters. Then your third Pokemon is going to be what you call a safe switch Pokemon. And I always put this in my middle slot of 3. So that way when you click the switch button, it's going to be on the bottom left hand of your screen. And this is one of those Pokemon where if you switch it in and get an energy advantage, you're going to feel more comfortable with the matchups that it has. And Poliwrath is definitely that for me. So I've been using Poliwrath as a safe switch a lot. Within this line of 3, I'm actually not rocking Alolan Marowak. It looks like Poliwrath, Shiftry, and Altaria. So leading Poliwrath, here's a favorable matchup for me right here. I know I'm going to be able to take out the Altaria if I just go straight Ice Punch. This is a great opportunity to QSA here, or you can just go straight for the Ice Punch after you farmed up enough energy before they get to a Sky Attack to really pressure them to either shield or take all that damage. I'm able to get to another Ice Punch here, which in reality, I don't think that I'm able to get to 2 Ice Punches before he's able to get to a Sky Attack. I might need to look in that simulation again, but I'm going to lose in the 0 shield, but I'm going to very confidently win in the 2 shields. This forces him to switch out into Whiscash, which again is not like a great response to Poliwrath, which leads me to believe maybe he's got something in the back that is weak to Poliwrath. I get a Dynamic Punch off on that Whiscash. In hindsight, I should have not dumped my energy that I stored on my Poliwrath and just switched in my Shiftry right away. You guys see me get nuked by a blizzard there? Yikes, that was a huge misplay on my part for sure. Let's see if I can come back from this. I'm bringing in Altaria to totally fast move farm down this Whiscash. I'm okay with committing a shield here. He baits me with Mud Bomb, which is very bad for me. I'm really hoping this is not a blizzard or this is easily good game. It's only Mud Bomb again. He could have possibly had enough time to charge up to a blizzard, but then he switches into his own Altaria. Because I farmed down all this energy, I'm hoping to draw this last shield. I'm able to get it, and I'm almost to another Sky Attack here. I'm able to outpace that Altaria. I do not want to risk getting hit by another charge move there. So I throw the Sky Attack. This is going to take out the Altaria. In comes his Whiscash. It does not have enough energy or health to do anything. And in the back is Venusaur. Altaria is definitely going to wreck Venusaur. Sky Attack won't one-shot it because Altaria is not very attack-weighted. It's definitely a more defensive Pokemon, but Sludge Bomb is going to do a decent amount of damage. Frenzy Plant's going to be double resisted. So I know that I'm going to be able to take this matchup. When constructing your team of 3, you just always want to make sure that you have coverage for all of their Pokemon. Unless you're in a tournament and you're playing against people that you've played against a lot, which like here in Colorado, a lot of us practice together, and so we kind of get used to each other's play styles. So then when it comes time for the tournament, sometimes I like to be a little bit weird and run some lines of 3 that no one would expect, hoping that they will not see that coming. So sometimes you can use that to your advantage, but you can see I switched in my Altaria here, and I'm hoping just to totally Dragon Breath this thing down. Yikes, he lands the Dragon Pulse on me. Again, one of the bad habits I have that people who play against me a lot will pick up on this. I very rarely shield the first charge attack when I have 2 shields, and a lot of my opponents who have battled me a lot are capitalizing on that habit, and they're going for the heavy hitting move right off the bat, knowing that I most likely won't shield, and then it inflicts a lot of damage and kind of bites me in the butt. This is not the best scenario for me. Because I'm up a shield, this is the only reason that I'm bringing Shiftry in here. I know that this is not a good scenario for me. I'm going to get one-shotted by the Dynamic Punch. He correctly baits me with Ice Punch, but then he makes a mistake here and switches into his Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak is going to get absolutely wrecked by Poliwrath. I knew that was going to be an Ice Punch bait, so don't even need a shield. I farm up even more extra energy, going straight for the Dynamic Punch. He does not commit his last shield, so I easily take out that Alolan Marowak, and because I've farmed up so much energy, I'm going for another Dynamic Punch here. It's debatable on whether or not I should have baited, but I'm actually able to get that Dynamic Punch through, which definitely easily swings this match in my favor. Not going to shield this. If it's a dynamic punch, I'm fine with letting it go. And if it was an ice punch, I did not want to get baited. So in that scenario, it was a safer option to just not shield because statistically, I would be in a better scenario. Even if the worst outcome happened, which is what happened, the dynamic punch went through. I knew my shift tree was in the back. I just need a shield for it, and I'm able to outpace that Poliwrath. So I take that matchup there. Very good games. I'm liking this team of 6 a whole bunch. One thing I posted on Twitter, I believe like a couple days ago, which by the way, I'm a total noob at Twitter. I literally like just made a Twitter so I could like message King and we could collaborate on that big live stream that took place. So total Twitter noob here, but I messaged on Twitter a couple days that I'm going to be thinking about getting a camera here so I can do some live battle commentary. And up until I get that camera, because right now I use my phone for all my recording, I use it for the screen recording obviously, and these commentary videos that I do. I'm going to be getting a camera so I can do some live battle commentary, but my laptop also has a webcam on it. I just don't think that the video quality is that great. Up until I get a camera, would you guys be interested in watching some live battle commentaries? I think that could be pretty cool. So it would essentially be, I'll be sitting here battling and I'll be talking through my thought process and everything that's going on, so you can kind of see it happening in real time. Let me know what you think of that. I think the video quality might not be super great from my webcam up until I get a new camera, but I definitely want to think about start doing that soon. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I got my Poliwrath on his Alolan Sandslash again. This is just a dream scenario for me. I don't care if a Bulldoze goes through, man. I'm going to farm up a bunch of energy knowing that Dynamic Punch is easily going to one-shot. Every cup that Poliwrath has been allowed, I have kept him in my team of 6 because I just think he's that good. He's a bulky fighting type. He's got some good bulk to him. And now that Mudshot is no longer Legacy, I was able to TM my really highly ranked PvP IV Poliwrath, and now this thing is just a machine. Here comes an Ice Punch against an Altaria, I believe. Yeah, it takes out like 50% damage. I fast swap into my shift tree that had energy in it. I'm going to throw a foul play here. That does a lot of damage. I don't even care that this sky attack is going to take me out. Totally fine by me. Because I was able to get that foul play off, it forced him to burn his energy, and I'm able to barely outpace this Altaria to an Ice Punch before I can get to another sky attack. A lot of people have been talking about the combination of Poliwrath and Shift Tree, that they cover each other's weaknesses. But one thing that I notice about it is that even if you're barely late to the switch-in with these two Pokemon, they are so crazy fast, and all the charge moves that they're throwing at you are really good charge moves. Ice Punch and Dynamic Punch, what an amazing combination on Poliwrath, and Leaf Blade and Foul Play on Shiftry is just absolutely insane. This is a very positive matchup for me. This last set is against LA718. And an unbelievable positive matchup for me with Whiscash. I'm very surprised that he's staying in. So instead of going straight for the Mud Bomb in the beginning there, I was just farming up as long as possible because I was expecting him to switch out. I get one shield. This is most likely going to be a Psyshock. And I'm okay with letting this go through. Even if it was a Bulldoze, I'd be okay with letting it go through. I'm still very surprised that he's staying in. In comes Frostlass. And I'm going to bring in my Alolan Marowak. I do need to watch out for the Shadow Ball for sure, but I'm going to be able to farm up a lot of energy with this Fire Spin damage. It's going to be hitting it for super effective. So let's assess these teams really quickly again. Let's look at LA718's team here, kind of look at my team and see what's going to have a lot of positive matchups. I know Shiftry is going to be able to beat his Bronzong. It's going to be able to outpace his Frostlass. It's going to beat his Kingdra. I don't really feel good against Altaria or Skuntank or Venusaur. So Shiftry's got 3 positive matchups. Whiscash, I feel comfortable against Bronzong, even against Frostlass. I'm okay with that. Against Altaria, against Skuntank for sure. Even against Kingdra, I'm okay with that. So looks like Whiscash has a lot of good matchups. Bronzong, gonna be decent against Kingdra because I'm gonna be resisting the Dragon Breath damage. Gonna be decent against Altaria. Not super great against Skuntank, but good against Venusaur. That's got 3 positive matchups. How about my Poliwrath? Not against the Bronzong unless I switch it in and get an energy advantage. Not against Kingdra. I don't really feel that comfortable against it. Maybe if I can land a dynamic punch. I don't believe I've played out that scenario before, but against Altaria, yeah. Against Skuntank, yep. Not against Venusaur. And my Altaria, not super great against Bronzong, not super great against Frostlass. Good against Kingdra, neutral with his Altaria. The Skuntank matchup, I believe I win that, and I believe I win the Venusaur matchup again. Altaria has a lot of great matchups. A lot of things on my team have a lot of good matchups against his team. It seems very well-rounded, the team that I've constructed here. Bad lead scenario for me, that Alolan Marowak against the Altaria. I used my Poliwrath as a switch-in. Now look at this scenario here. He actually made an amazing switch into Bronzong, so I'm not sure if this is going to play out how it's supposed to. In a perfect world, I would have not thrown that Ice Punch on the Bronzong, but he switched at the perfect time. I'm able to land the Dynamic Punch there, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to barely get to this Ice Punch. This is most likely going to draw a shield. And so that was still a favorable encounter for me. Even though Bronzong farmed up a lot of energy, I got a shield out of it. And now Bronzong does not have a whole lot of health. I'm going to bring in my Shift Tree and totally farm this down with Snarl. And I can catch whatever charge move it throws at me because everything's going to be resisted. So amazing scenario for me. I'm able to farm it down with my Snarl. I'm anticipating the Altaria to come back out. It is Altaria. Since I'm up a shield and since I have enough energy to get to a foul play and probably even another foul play, I'm going to commit a shield here. We see MP tie there. I'm going for the foul play. This is really going to add up. These foul plays are really going to add up. Altaria cannot survive 3 foul plays, and you can easily outpace Altaria getting to its charge moves. Dragon Breath is doing a lot of damage. I get that last shield, and then I switch into Alolan Marowak. He has Kingdra in the back, so I need this Alolan Marowak to put on a lot of Shadow Ball damage here, because Kingdra is double resisting my Fire Spin. Really not good at all. At this point, I'm just hoping to get to a Bone Club, but it does not happen. I let this go through. I know it's going to take me out, but I don't know if my Shift Tree has enough. Yeah, it does not have enough energy to take that out. I should have shielded my Alolan Marowak and then tried to get a Bone Club off, because I don't know if I'd be able to get to a Shadow Ball, but I get my Bronzong on his Venusaur. This is an amazing matchup for me. If you're the Venusaur, you got to get out of there. Confusion is hitting you for super effective, and nothing you throw at Bronzong is going to hurt it. So this is a total farmable matchup. Don't even need to throw a charge move. Don't even need a shield. Holy crap. That was a massacre there. He brings in Kingdra. I see that there's a little bit of lag, so I stop attacking. Again, in these practice matches, always make sure to be courteous to your opponent. If you see that they're lagging, don't just sit there and get free energy, man. It sucks when you're on the bad end of the lag. But because of all this energy I've farmed up off that Venusaur, I'm going to be able to throw 2 Psyshocks. I drew a shield. I'm able to get to another Psyshock here because I'm resisting that Dragon Breath damage. Holy cow, this is either going to take out the Kingdra or draw the last shield. It takes out the Kingdra. I still have 3 Pokemon, you guys, with 2 shields. This is insane. He's got Bronzong in the back, which I'm surprised that he didn't bring Bronzong against my Bronzong, because that would have been a more favorable matchup than his Kingdra. Again, we're just still feeling out these matches, so a lot to learn from this, but I still have 2 shields, and Whiscash is going to shred Bronzong. So this is pretty much a good game here. Let me know what you guys think of this video. I tried to talk a lot about my thought process for building teams, but I feel like a live commentary while I'm battling would really be great, so you guys can see exactly what's going on in my brain. I know that when I watch great battlers, I'm always wondering, what are they thinking? What's going through their mind right now? How are they going to pull out a win from this scenario? And I feel like live battle commentary would really be able to do that. Let me know what you think. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.